Throughout her career, Mary Tyler Moore was the picture-perfect ideal of the smart and funny, adorable woman who had it all. But in her intimate new book, which is called Growing Up Again, she exposes some very personal battles that will surprise everyone. She says life, loves, and oh yeah, diabetes. Please welcome Mary Tyler Moore. About this book, which I read.
Yes.
Because, yes, it deals with diabetes, and yes, it deals with alcoholism, and yes, but it is also a wonderful read because it deals with your whole life. Marriages, divorces, new marriage, you know.
And a few happy things.
And very happy things. But when you did the Mary Tyler Moore, the Mary, nobody knew. For 7 years you did that show. Nobody knew that you had juvenile diabetes.
Right.
It was discovered a year before you did that show. What was it like? I mean, did people, anybody know? Were you giving yourself shots of insulin every day? What was that like?
Oh, all of the above, yeah. I didn't want to share it with the public because I was afraid that if they knew, every time they saw me, they would be saying to themselves something about, well, you know, she has diabetes. She looks a little ill today, doesn't she?
Did the show know?
Several people on the show knew, but
and
it wasn't.
Day you were injecting insulin?
Several times a day.
Several times.
Oh, yeah.
And you still do.
But you know what's exciting? That JDRF, the organization that I work for, is accelerating the development of an artificial pancreas. It is from the pancreas that the beta cells that release insulin into your system, and that handles the food and sends it in the right place. This will measure your blood glucose.
But is this an operation where you put a new pancreas?
No, it's no more complicated, I think, than a pacemaker. You have two items that are on the external, and they feed into your system. And one is a constant monitor of what your blood glucose level is, and the other is an insulin pump. It's an incredible advance.
One of the Jonas Brothers uses a pump.
Yes, yeah.
I just want to go through some of the... And he performs every day, the youngest Jonas brother. I don't think people... I'm not sure that people realize the extent of this. Let me just read some of the things. Your vision has been severely compromised. It's hard for you to walk long distances due to a decrease in the blood flow to the muscles. You have a failing sense of balance. Is every day a struggle?
No, you get used to those things. The human body and the mind is remarkable in how it tolerates impairments. You know, you get used to it and you adjust. And sure, you trip over steps like these from time to time. Oh, you should see. Look at that. Isn't that awful? This is from bumping into coffee tables that I wasn't expecting. But, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world, is it?
You know, I was reading, Mary, that some of your eye problems, you say, were contributed to by your smoking.
Yes.
Talk about that a little so people know about that.
Well, the smoking is a vasoconstrictor, and it clogs up or makes smaller the blood vessels that go to the eyes. And that's what happens with diabetic neuropathy.
How much did you smoke?
I smoked close to 3 packs a day. I was a devoted smoker.
It's not just lung cancer that it affects.
But if you're diabetic, it's even worse.
Right. And what it does is it destroys the blood vessels, and then in an attempt to be helpful, little blood vessels grow to take over, but they're not strong enough, and they bleed. And it's the blood that goes behind the eye, you can't see it, that clouds the vision. So don't smoke.
I want to say that in addition to diabetes, you battled alcoholism for several years.
Yes.
And then you went to the Betty Ford Center in 1984.
I did.
And you stopped.
Yeah.
Now, do you think the alcoholism made the diabetes worse? Like you said, smoking?
Did having diabetes make you an alcoholic?
I never thought of that. This is good. I don't know that that drinking is a terrible detriment to people with diabetes. Certainly not to the degree that smoking is, but drinking can ruin some relationships for you. It can turn your personality one way or another, and it's not good.
How long ago did you have the last drink?
Oh, 20...
a long time.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I gave it up at about the same time that my husband Robert and I were married.
Yeah.
You were at our wedding.
Yeah. That was like 25 years ago. 25 years ago. You know, I was reading. That was a great photo. So it was like I said.
That's your father we just showed, not your husband.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's the right one. Now, isn't it cute? He is. So it's been, what, 25 years? And
You're
you read in
supposed to be older than him, and then we see a picture of you with your father, and I said, what happened to him?
Well, you wrote in your book, you said that there was he is 18 years younger than you.
Well, he was. I don't know what he is now.
Well, that's interesting. I love it. And when you wrote that in the book, I thought that was such a great line that sort of kind of merges together after a while, right?
It does. It does. Once I described to him what Esther Williams was, and he understood, I began to think there was hope for us.
Did he take care of you? Did the fact that he was a cardiologist, the fact that he's a doctor, I don't know, has that helped?
It has helped and has driven me crazy at times.
Oh, yeah?
Because he's always hovering. He's a caregiver. That's his life.
Now, before we go, because I really wanted you to speak to the audience. Your book is so, but is there anything that you want to get out to the audience about about this disease? Something that they should know? Anything?
Avoid murdering people. It's a terrible disease in that the consequences of long-term being too high in blood sugar and too low in blood sugar.
I don't think people realize how serious it is.
That's right. It kills. It robs you of your vision. It is a death knell to your kidneys at times. The strokes, heart attacks. All of this comes from the seemingly
So you
good
should try
health.
to get early diagnosis if you think that you have a problem.
Yes. If you feel that you're lethargic, having trouble getting upstairs.
Urinating all the time. Having to go to the bathroom all of the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's a sign in kids that some people overlook sometimes, too.
Yes, right. The children are remarkable. I've worked with a lot of them, and they are just so smart and so dedicated, and they do grow up to be remarkable adults. Yes.
Well, by the way, speaking of hovering, we should say that Dr. Levine came here this morning with Mary. He's hovering upstairs somewhere in the dressing room. But you know, you're remarkable, and we've loved you for so many years. You and I have known each other for such a long time.
That's right.
We're always very happy to
And we
see
never
you.
see each other.
No, well, we got to correct that.
Yes, we do.
We really do. But before we correct it,
yes.
or as we correct it, I want to just tell you that everyone in the audience is getting a copy of Mary's book. You will enjoy reading it. You will enjoy reading it. Stay well. Thank you. Thank you. We'll be right back.